It's a great fight. It really pushed me out of my comfort zone. You know, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy as well. I've been working on my striking for a very long time, and no one ever really gets to see it, so I think nobody really thinks I can strike at all. So it'll be interesting in this fight because I don't think his wrestling's very good. I think he's got jiu-jitsu guy wrestling, you know, big overhand right to the single or double leg and kind of muscles you. And been working with Andrew Sanchez for a very long time, the guy that I fought in the Ultimate Fighter, who's now a close personal friend, and I think he is some of the best wrestling in the division. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. I'll be able to stop his takedowns and beat him up on the feet. He's a big guy. I mean, he won the Ultimate Fighter at heavyweight, and then he dropped to 205, and then he dropped to 85. You know, he's a really probably on the bigger end of the spectrum of middleweights, and I'm not a big middleweight. I'm usually on weight. I'm, you know, around 15 to 13 pounds over just when I'm training, you know what I mean? So I'm not cutting a lot, and I feel like that's going to be big for this fight because I'll have the gas to go all 3 rounds and be okay, whereas I feel like he's kind of a first-round guy, and if he can't get you in the first round, he has a tough time, especially with guys that can stop his takedowns. And like Dan Kelly was able to stop his takedowns, and he ended up just gassing out.
For sure.
It's actually really exciting. It's a good time, especially for me. Like I said, I'm on a 2-fight win streak, and I feel like the top 15 is kind of wide open. Guys are retiring. They're kind of, you know, Tim Bosch, I think, just lost, and he was number 15, and Sam was in there, and he just lost. So, you know, a couple of quality wins, you can get into the top 15, and, you know, I already have a win over Thiago Santos, who was number 15, so that kind of puts me, like, right on the cusp. So I think a couple more big wins, you know, I'm kind of in the picture to make a run at the time. So I used to do a lot of pro wrestling. I used to wrestle a lot with Chuck O'Neal, who was in the UFC, and Matt Riddle. So I'm very into that, kind of playing the heel role and kind of taking that all in. And, you know, so when I came out there, like, I kept being like, oh, I can't hear you guys. And they were getting even more mad. And even at weigh-ins, they were, you know, somebody was trying to jump over the guardrail because I kept being like, you know, like I couldn't hear him.
For
or
real?
something. Yo, it was intense.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, man, I was just kidding. Like, but, yeah, I feed off that. And, you know, I've had a friend who, I think he made his debut down there, and he was like, man, that was the scariest. That really threw him off, you know. And for me, it doesn't bother me. It really makes me motivated. I was thinking about actually coming out like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I was thinking about
2x4?
Yep, the
Wow.
2x4 and the American flag, and then cutting my shorts to make look like wrestling trunks, and then painting them blue because you have to wear what they tell you to wear.
Yeah.
But as long as I paint them blue and don't cover up the logos, I think it'll be okay. And they might get a little too intense for the American flag and the 2x4, and then a couple thumbs up.